Wake your asses up. We're back. Some of us still have dirty asses from a long work day. Some of us had time to shower. It's your favorite Tio Al Cintron with his friends Pete Kennedy and Anthony Gallo. What's good, fellas?
Oh, chilling. It's hot as hell right now. NYC, they're pumping the old furnaces up, and I'm gonna need to wash my ass after this.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that the come around on heat is that the new technology was like the forced air, and now it's back to furnaces are good, or the side units. You know what I'm saying? Now like those are actually better for you. Very weird, but no, when the heat hits, it gets your throat going a little bit. You need to get some tea in the system, but it's all good.
I sleep with the windows open.
Oh.
I don't care. I mean, the heat can be on. I have to be cold for me. I
Yeah.
can't stand when it's hot as ass and you got swamp ass at bed. It's no good, man. It's no good.
Nah, swamp. No one wants swamp ass ever. Never in the world is swamp ass a win.
But not in the winter time. Fall, winter. Who the fuck wants swamp ass at that time, bro? Summertime is. I get it. It's hot. Whatever. You might have the wrong underwear on. Not me. But
'Cause you don't wear
it is what
underwear.
it is. It depends what day of the week it is. It depends what day of the week it is. That's for damn sure. So, we would debate which way do we go? Basketball, football. We'll start with baseball because I feel like shit's about to kick up a notch once the meetings, the winter meetings are coming up soon. So things will start
Couple
kicking
weeks.
in. Yeah, first week of December. Yeah. So then you got people. The Pete is of course the tip of everybody's tongue is Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz. Do they stay? Do they go? Can they trade Jeff McNeil? Is Brandon Immel going to be in his team next year? Can they change this core? Should they break up the core? Blah 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 blah. I feel like I feel like I did this last year. Oh wait, I did with Pete Alonso.
Mhm.
So here we go again. Pete won 7 years. The team's offered three. I've mentioned on my show that I think the Mets should offer. I think Pete and the Mets should come at 5 years with a fifth year mutual option. And you seen what Josh Naylor got 5 for Hundy. Pete Alonso and Josh Naylor is younger than Pete Alonso and a better fielder than Pete Alonso and a better base stealer than Pete Alonso. I'm not saying he's a better player, but you get what I'm going with this. I think it's fair for Pete Alonso to accept 4 years, 120, 5 years, 150. And if not, he can go play in Boston. What do you guys think?
I mean, I would double it. I mean, give him 5 years, 200, and tell him say no.
Damn.
Like that's it. If you take it to short years and you say no, then that's it. That's the best we're doing. And I don't even think it's an unfair contract. And they could front.
Oh, he froze. I think Scott Boras froze his
Stuff that
feet.
he's gonna hit. 40 homers, you get the like. Well, I froze.
Yeah, I think Boris Corp is coming after your ass.
Yeah, it's like it's like during the Marvel press conferences and stuff when they're like, if I say something, Feige's gonna come get me. Scott Boras got every podcast. He's got it on his sniper cam.
That's the way you look at it like that. You were frozen like that.
Oh, my fault. Probably my Wi-Fi. But
all right, so
yeah,
let's
that's
see
what
if
I'm
we
saying. Am I good now or no?
You're frozen, but we can hear your voice.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You take 5 years, 200, and incentivize it, front load it, whatever they need to do. That's it. We're about to go to a lockout, so take it or leave it, buddy.
Yeah,
you're not getting paid anywhere else. I don't care what anybody says. The Phillies aren't paying you. The Red Sox might pay you. That's about it. And I don't think anybody else is going to pay them. I see these things. Oh, the Pirates might be in on it. The Orioles might be in on it. Why would the Orioles be in on it? They got like 9,000 first basemen.
That's all they got. It's a weird thing because I think every Mets fan and baseball fan alike could all come to an agreement that like Pete Alonso on the Mets is a positive, right? Like that is a win in a vacuum. But if we're doing this again, we did this last year. You can rerun our episodes from last year and you could reinsert somebody else's name where we were talking about Vlad Guerrero possibilities. And we could run the same episode because this is unfortunately getting to the point of ridiculousness. And he hasn't done this amazing job to prove to us that he needs the max payday. I know there's no max in baseball, but whatever that idea of max pay that Boris wants him to get, he hasn't earned that necessarily. So why are we doing this rigmarole, this runaround, whatever? My prediction is that we're going to do the same crap all off season again, and we're going to end up with Pete Alonso, and he's not going to make as much money as he wants, and he's going to be a Met and for life, and that's a good thing. And we'll be happy to root for Pete Alonso for the future moving forward. But this rigmarole is old and annoying, and he's not getting the big bag.
I mean, he doesn't deserve to be the highest paid first baseman in baseball. The Mets gave him that last year, the 1 year, and then he can opt out, and he opted out, and he bet on himself again, and he won. Good for him.
Right.
But I think 5 for 150. You want to put a little more on that 5 is fair enough, especially for a guy who, first he said he didn't want to DH. Now he's open to DH, and it's funny. He says that, so now more teams can get involved. He sucks at throwing the ball to second base. He sucks at throwing the ball home. He sucks at throwing the ball across the diamond. His base running's atrocious. Yes, he's one of the best power hitter in Met history. If Darryl Strawberry wasn't cracked out, that wouldn't be the case. But and into hookers and stuff. But Pete Alonso, to me, at first I didn't want him. I didn't care last year when he went through this. I thought Mark Vientos at first. I would look stupid. Now I want him, but I think in the middle ground. They offered 3. He wants 7. Come to 5 with a mutual option in the 5th. And let's go. I think it's that easy. Get it done. You want to be a lifelong Met? Then there it is. If you take something else, and it's not that much higher, then you're full of shit. And I don't ever want to hear how much you loved being a Met and wanted to be a Met for the rest of your career. You did like everybody else, and you took the little bit more because you wanted that bag.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that my only fear is what's the pivot, because we already have massive needs. And my thing is, if they were to bring back Diaz and Alonso, I'm okay with them going after role players, Major League Baseball players, not these 4A bums that they bring in, but actual role players to lengthen out the lineup and lengthen out the rotation and the bullpen. But if you now don't bring back Pete, I feel like we're already going to be at a deficit with the rotation if the young guys don't progress, and the bullpen's going to need work. And now it's like, well, how much more do we need to add then if you don't add Pete back? And I don't think Kyle Tucker is a better player than Pete Alonso. I think it's an adjacent move. So if you're bringing Kyle Tucker to supplement Pete Alonso, you still have all the needs that you had prior to that. You're bringing Cody Bellinger. I think that's a step back from Pete Alonso. Like, and I'm talking about offensive production. We can talk about how this come from me, who's been critical of Pete. Like, he could be bad at throwing the first and not the greatest fielder and not a base stealer. He's still one of the 3 best power hitters in the league. He's a run driving in machine. And I don't want to have to take 4 steps back to start taking 10 steps forward. Like, there's no reason why him and Diaz couldn't be back and the team still makes moves to get better.
Correct. Now, 100% Gallo. If we talk about the facts of Pete Alonso, it's very simple. Like you said, one of the best power hitters in the league, non-negotiable truth right there. Last year, he led the NL in doubles. That's a truth right there. Another great thing in his eyes. The RBIs were up above 120 again. Fantastic. And most importantly, he plays every day. Every time you roll out the Mets lineup card, you check Twitter, who's batting where today, Pete Alonso's in the lineup. 162, 2 games in a row. 154, 160, 152, 57 in the 60-game season, 161 in the season, in his rookie season. The guy plays every day. And that is a value that Mets fans do appreciate and do love. And we want to see Pete Alonso in the lineup every day, but it's just tired. It's just a tired thing that we're having to do here again. Pete Alonso in a Mets uniform is a win. Absolutely. No questions about it in my eyes. But if he's gone, we have to figure it out. And guess what? The Mets aren't ruined because of it.
The other thing I will say, he also hit in the clutch last year in the regular season. Something he didn't do the year before. That was a big thing. You know, I give him that as well. And when the collapse was happening the last month of the season, it wasn't the main guys. It was the rest. It was the co-stars, and they sucked. 5 through 9 was atrocious. Mark Vientos was the biggest bust last season. Huge disappointment. If Peter's gone, my plan is this. Bring Pete back, put Cody Bellinger in center field as well. Nemo at left field, Nemo at DH. You can trade a package to get Louis Robert Jr. to play center field if you want. Michael King, you can sign for a 3-year deal. And if I heard today that Tazio said that if the Mets get Devin Williams, it's because they're not going to bring back Edwin Diaz, and he doesn't want it to be a piggyback in the bullpen. I say to hell with that. Get Devin Williams to pitch a 7 8 inning, and you got Edwin Diaz in the ninth to go with Minter, to go with Rayleigh, and then one of these starters who probably won't be a starter. You could stick him in the pen as well, and go from there. I mean, that's better. And get rid of Jeff McNeil. That
Yeah.
get him the fuck off the team. Like that's you want to break up the core. There you go. If you don't want, if you can't trade for Louis Robert Jr., Carson Binge, if he kills it in spring training, there's your center fielder. There's your youth right there. There's your center fielder, and go from there.
Do we genuinely think they're going to bring in a top end guy in the rotation? They have 7 guys that, and that's not counting Jonah Tom. They have 7 guys they have to work into that rotation. And if they trade one, you got 6 guys. Like I think that, and I love what you just said, Al. I just not set myself up for disappointment. I think if they bring in a rotation piece, 4th or 5th starter, and that's what they're going with, I do not think they're bringing a top end guy. I think they're going to ride with, some combination of McLean, Sproat, Minaya, Senga, Holmes, and maybe Jonah Tong, who I don't think is ready for the big leagues. Like, I just don't think I think they threw a child out there and he looked like it. And that's okay. Doesn't mean he's a bust. Just means that he needs time. And
they showed enough that he's not a bust. He's just got to.
No, they screwed up. They screwed up. When the numbers don't lie. I mentioned this numerous times. When he pitched to Alvarez, he sucked. When he pitched to Terrence, who I would love to be the everyday catcher defensively, I don't give a shit because defense behind the plate is what matters with these new rules and stuff. He throws everybody out. When Tong threw to Terrence, he was much better.
Yeah, but I hate that excuse. Like
he's not ready. He's not ready though.
No, I know. I understand what you're saying, but I just we need a great catcher. And if it's Terrence, fine, cool. But then you're sacrificing a lot of.
Well, the rest of the guys should be able to pick up the slack.
Where are we supplementing a possible Pete loss? And honestly, dude, I'm a big Lou Bob guy, so I would love to get Luis Roberts in center, and it doesn't block anyone. Like you don't have a DH, so if you traded for a center fielder, you're not blocking Bange, you're not blocking is it Gilbert or Clifford, whichever one of those guys is the minors. You're not blocking Alonso or Nimmo or Soto. Like there's no blocking of anyone, and I'm okay with that. As far as rotation goes, I don't think they're gonna make a move. I would rather them load up in the pen, like you said, get a Devin Williams, bring back Diaz, bring some more arms in, and maybe one of those starters is to get slotted to the pen. And number one move besides signing Diaz and Alonso, get Jeff McNeil the fuck out of here. Okay, enough. We don't need it. I didn't have to wear my squirrel costume. Okay, get him out of here. I'm sick of talking about him. I'm almost as much as I'm sick of talking about Pete's contract.
Right. That's what 100% Gallo. And just for everybody tuning in right now on Uptown Sports TV, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. Also, my Twitter at P Kennedy is up there live as well. Tio Al and Friends. We're now on Wednesdays. I know the 3 of us have not been together in a while, but we are back. We're almost at 100 people in the building right now across all platforms.
Yeah.
Did I say Twitch? We're on Twitch as well at Uptown Sports TV.
So we are.
Y'all for tapping in. And the numbers are climbing as we speak. So get in the chat. Talk to us about what the Mets should do at first base with Alonso, with the starting rotation. The Knicks are on in about 30 minutes. We're going to get to Knicks and some football in a little while. But subscribe. Tio Al, back to you.
No, Gallo, you were saying about the Mets going to bring top-end pitching. I think they are. David Stearns is pressed against it. He cannot come up small shopping in the 99-cent store. Bye-bye, Frankie Montas. That might be the worst signing in Met history, and we all knew it at the time. We were hopeful that would be the same thing happened to Severino would happen to Montas, but Frankie Montas, just what a waste of time that was. I think they get one of these guys, and in reading some of the stuff I've read, that the Mets are going to be on 1 and maybe 2, and then they're making Senga available as a trade piece. I would not be shocked if they put David Peterson in a trade somewhere. Minaya is locked up already. David Peterson was the worst pitcher in baseball last 10 starts. He went from an all-star to all what the fuck, just like that. And he was horrendous. Sean Minaya, we all know what happened with him last year. Was it a flash in the pan contract year that he had in 2024? Or is this the Minaya that we're going to get from now on? It's going to be crap. You know, but
what is your confidence on Manaea? Because I thought that he was playing hurt last year, and every start he would pitch well for 3 innings, and I thought he was just pitching with an injury. I trust him more than the other veterans you named. Outside of Clay Holmes, the vets on that squad, I trust Manaea more than Peterson, Senga for sure. Blackburn.
Oh, Blackbird's gone. He was on the Yankees. He's
okay.
Blackbird. Yeah, he's been gone. I would say, well, Holmes deserves to be in a rotation. That was
100%.
as much as people killed him when all the money was on the line. Game 161. What did he do? He pitched 6 innings and got it done. Something he was begging for during the season without actually begging for it publicly. When they took him out of games early, he said, "Well, I had some left in the tank, but management felt differently." He always said something about that. He always took the high road. That dude deserves to be in a rotation. For a guy who hasn't pitched for a whole season, he's there. Let's say you do bring Peterson back. Okay, that's 2. Go get Michael King or a top-notch starter, 3. Then you have Nolan McLean, 4. Sproat, 5. If Singer's on this team, it's going to be a 6-man rotation. If not, if he's on the team, I think they're going to try to move him. I honestly think they're going to move him. Try to move him at least. He's got 1 year left on his deal. But the Mets have to shake up this pitching staff. McLean's the ace. Manaea, you got to have insurance policy, though. You got Manaea, you got Holmes. Like I said, I can see them moving to Peterson, Asenga. And the only way you move Sproat is if you're getting a huge return, like somebody big back, then you're going to have to include him in the deal. McLean's untouchable. I do not care who it is for. I don't care if you might think I'm nuts. I don't care if it's for Skeens. I don't care if it's for Scooble. To me, you want to pair the aces, not split them.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you all a question about the rotation here, because if you think about Clay Holmes, Peterson, and Senga, they all had really good stretches in the season, right? Like, I know Senga was not going deep since day 1 of the season last year, but his numbers were spectacular.
He was awesome before the injury.
Correct. Like, he was great for a large portion. Peterson was one of the best pitchers for a long stretch of the time. And Clay Holmes was really good until he, I guess, ran out of steam or whatever you want to say. If you had a bet on one of those 3 guys to be a mainstay, let's say if you had a bet on one of those 3 guys to be the number 2 for 162 games next year,
David Peterson.
Who are you betting on? You betting on Peterson? Because I feel like Clay Holmes needs a shout there. I mean,
well,
it was his first time being a starter.
I don't trust Holmes, though.
No, for sure. I'm just saying, like, I think people do forget, right? It was all this talk preseason about, Holmes is going to be on a pitch limit. When he hits 75 innings, 100 innings, he's going to fall off a cliff. He didn't really do that. He did obviously slow down a bit. Now he's a starter. He's a real starter for the 2nd year in a row, and he is stretched out. And maybe now next year, they're not going to say, 5 innings, 88 pitches, you're done. They might let him go 6. They might let him push into 7, and maybe we see a more evolved version of Clay Holmes. I think that's in the cards.
Who is it? Manaea, Senga?
Senga.
No.
Well, yeah, throw Manaea in there. Manaea, Senga, Holmes, and Peterson.
I do not know about Manaea's health. I know he said he doesn't need surgery, but I have to see it to believe it with the results. He got screwed the last game of the season. This guy panicked so fast in that game and just fucked everything up, pulling everybody left and right. I think I trust Holmes because he was the most consistent starting pitcher all year last season. I trust Holmes out of all of them.
Now, if we're talking trust, I agree. If we're talking ceiling, I guess that's more what I was thinking is I think Peterson's ceiling is what we saw in the first half last year. Yeah. Maybe they have to be smarter with when they ask him to go. He's an efficient pitcher. So he was getting into a lot of these, 7th innings with 80 pitches. So maybe they have to be smarter about when they're running him out there. Because, there's always the argument, is it a pitch count? Is it the up downs? But I'm glad that we're all in agreement on Holmes because I think so many Met fans hated this guy. And it was like, no, he was exactly what we expected him to be. $12 million, he was better than what his contract value was. He's not an ace, but he was exactly what we needed, and he wasn't the problem with the Mets last year.
He was better than most of the back-end rotation starters in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was better than all of our starters.
Yeah. And maybe I'm being
naive.
Maybe I'm being naive. I mean, Kodai Senga, he could be really good, man. Like, I don't know. Like, why are we writing him off completely? Why are we just like, this guy is absolutely cooked? He sucks.
Because everything has to be perfect for him. He quit on the team. Let me ask you a question. Frankie Montas, was he good last year?
Nope.
But he went out there when he was asked to pitch. They asked Kodai Singer to go out there when they were struggling to start pitching. What did he do? Oh, I need to stay down here just to work on a little bit more. I need more time. If you would have went out there and the major league pitching and stunk, at least he gave it a go. He didn't even fucking try. He didn't try.
He gives me John Maine vibes, where if one thing ruffles his feathers, he's screwed. The only difference with him is he's not punching himself in the head like John Maine was on the mound. So, like, I like Senga. I have a Senga jersey, and
So do I like him. Yeah, I'm with you, but
yeah, I'm
come
not
on,
going to
man.
lose
Like,
my mind if he's back, but I'm also not advocating for it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if we're at the All-Star break next year and it's like, oh yeah, Kodai Senga, 2.2 ERA. Like, I just wouldn't be surprised if that's the truth again, because he's done it multiple years where he's had these gaudy numbers and his only issue has been not going deep. And obviously the end of last year, Al, you're 100% right. You know, when he's now in the minors, we're like, wait a minute, what's going on with Kodai Senga? But again, if we're saying, hey, it's the All-Star break and presuming there's no lockout like Gallo mentioned before, you know, it's the All-Star break. Kodai Senga's got a 2.2 ERA and he's 8-2. Are you going to sit here and be like, no way, that's impossible? Of course it's possible. The guy's got crazy stuff, you know?
No,
yeah, it just I lost. Sorry, Gallo. I lost, and I love Senga. I went to a lot of his starts. I lost a large amount of confidence in him after what happened at the end of the season. The Mets were desperate for starting pitching, bro, and they asked him, "Hey, please, like, can you pitch?" No, I still want to stay down here and throw it. The minor league season was over, by the way, mind you. It was over. I'm going to stay down here and work on some stuff. Well, then you quit on the team, bro. You quit on the team.
Yeah.
I'm also just done with having faith in guys. Like it's different when it comes to like Nimmo and Alonso and Lindor, guys who struggled at times last year, specifically Nimmo and Lindor. But I'm done. Vientos, done with having faith in him. Done with having faith in a guy like when I say I trust Peterson, it's not that I'm expecting him to be what you were saying. It's just that I do think he's got a ceiling, and I don't think there's much value in getting rid of him. Senga, I think there's value. You trade him, I think he's got value.
Someone's buying high.
Yeah, and we can then, in my opinion, they have roster flexibility because it's $15 million off the books, and you can go out and get a starting pitcher that's above what I expect them to do. Because I don't expect them, like Michael King for me, that's a bare minimum move. I don't even expect them to do that. I think they're bringing in back-end rotation guys, and like I'm not asking Stearns to make a panic move. I'm just asking him to upgrade the rotation. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to stick to his guns, which, to be fair, even if I don't agree with it, I respect it because it means that he's sticking to his principles and he's not overreacting because the fans are pissed at him. But the bullpen concerns me even with Diaz back, and without Diaz back, I have no hope. So there's things that I think are more pressing, but I'm not giving myself any hope that they're going after a starting pitcher without trading a Senga or a Peterson, Manaea, whichever one it is.
Yeah, and I think the only way that happens is if they know they're getting one of these pitchers and they work it out, and then they move one of those guys to package to go get a need, like a center fielder, if you don't believe that Carson Bench is going to be ready. You know, my ideal lineup, I threw it out there. Alonso first. You could put whoever the hell you want at second. Shortstop, Lindor. Third base, Beatty. Left field, Bellinger. Center field, Robert Jr. Right field, Juan Soto. Catcher can be Alvarez or Torrens. Your DH could be Brandon Nimmo. When he plays left field, you could put Cody Bellinger to DH. I think you want,
Or
there you go, the core. All first base, Alonso can DH. Like, this is, I know you said Bellinger will be a step back, but his flexibility, he's a gold glover, and they're talking about run prevention. He's a gold glover. He plays left center, can play right, can play first. And the Mets are desperate for defense, considering all the bloopers they had last year. Look, the 2024 Yankees did in the World Series, but they did it all season long, the Mets. I think that's the perfect lineup. And by the way, Gallo, it's not the fans being mad. The owner's not happy with David Stearns and how shit went down last year. So this is it. Like, he's got to make it. He's got to make it happen. And I'm sure, maybe Cohen told him, don't be, go all out. It's okay. Spend. If it's there, I'll approve it. Blah blah blah. He's a fan first. He don't want to lose. So if you're going to start shopping bottom of the barrel pitching again, uh, it's not going to work out. It did one year. It didn't last year. Fans are not going to be happy and show up to the ballpark like Steve Cohen wants if this happens again next year.
And like they did last year, right? Fans showed out last year, man. And
They're not
last year
going to
was
show up.
a truly a travesty. I mean, the Mets fans, we've all seen really difficult years, right? We've seen collapses. We've seen just dog shit teams in the past. And last year was a completely different beast of turmoil. It was in a playoff position from like the third day of the season until the final 2 weeks of the season. Like that was something that was almost unprecedented.
Final week.
And the Mets have had literally the most unprecedented collapses in their history already. So
Oh, God.
this is really a turning point season for the leadership of this organization. Now, I'm glad that you called that out because Stearns, in Stearns we trust, the pitching lab, if that stuff doesn't start to show to fruition, I think, Al, I think you're onto something. Cohen's not going to be patient. And that's dangerous territory. When your
That's what
owner
I
starts
heard.
stepping in and says, oh, we got to go XYZ, that's how you end up with Max Scherzer. Now, granted, was Max Scherzer pitching deep in the playoffs this year? Yeah, he certainly was. But he wasn't
Son
for
of
the
a
Mets.
bitch.
But you know what I'm saying?
Sucked all year and then turned into fucking Superman in the playoffs.
Legit. But like, yo, if Cohen or any owner for that matter starts feeling like they have to take matters into their own hands, typically not a good recipe.
I'm
Gal,
say
you mentioned.
something.
Wait, real quick, Gal, because you mentioned something about there's going to be a strike. Major League Baseball signed a lucrative deal with Netflix, with
ESPN.
NBC and ESPN. And from what I was reading before we jumped on, is that might prevent a lockout, considering the deal is lucrative for all the owners. So we'll see what comes of that.
Well, because now you got the brain spinning here. You need 8 owners to lock the league out. You do not need a majority. And there are some guys, Bob Nutting, Castellini, and John Fisher, to name a few, that are hell-bent on ruining the sport. And I actually feel better because I didn't read that. I actually haven't dove into it yet. I would feel better if that's the case. Those guys are hell-bent on they don't care about the sport. They care about lining their pockets. They don't care about their fans. Like, I hope Paul Skeens gets traded and Pirate fans suffer, so maybe they burn down the building. You know what I mean? Like fuck.
And it's a great building.
Bob
That's all
Nutting.
they got. All they got is a good
great
stadium.
building. It's a great building.
All my homies hate Bob Nutting. I am, I loathe this man. I loathe the owner of the A's and the Reds. So I hope so, because it truly scares me and I don't, if we gotta have a salary cap, whatever, fuck it. But like, it truly scares me where we may be headed. I was 3 years old in '94. I don't have any recollection of it. I just got done watching the Expos documentary. Like, it terrifies me. Look, I know there's a lot of bigger things going on in the world, but as baseball fans, terrifies me. The other thing I want to say, and I know it's going to be unpopular, short of an under 500 season or a collapse, I'm not getting rid of David Stearns. I think you want to be the Dodgers. You want to be a stable organization, and you want to build something that's more sustainable than having to sign your way out of a bad situation. You have to keep this guy. Like, unless he does something really bad, like, I get it. It's New York, and you can't tell me you want to be like these other organizations. The Dodgers did a lot of the Mets are doing this without completely tearing the organization down. The Dodgers we forget what they did with Carl Crawford and all these guys. The Brewers got to where they wanted to be because he couldn't spend. But what he didn't do was overspend on starting pitching because he was being reactionary. He couldn't get a guy like Juan Soto. He couldn't retain guys like Pete and Lindor, and that's where I hope he elevates it. But we're never going to be a sustainable organization if we keep firing GMs. And I love Cohen. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with Cohen. If he fires another GM after this year, if he deserves to be, fine. But if it's because they missed the playoffs and by a game, I'm not just firing the dude and going on to another GM. Nobody worth hiring is going to want to work for him if he's firing guys left and right. And this is somebody who is good. And I think we have to just trust that he gets it. Like, we're not being duped. Like this is not like we don't have for example, the Yankees built something that has now basically covered their GM's ass for 20 years. And the Mets don't have that blanket. The Dodgers spend a lot. They also built something that was sustainable. The Astros. Everyone wrote the Astros off this year. And again, if it wasn't for injuries, they probably would have been the best team in the AL. Like, we are not at that point yet, and we're just seeing the cusp of it. The farm system is the best in baseball right now. And that's not just by chance. That's not just because I like Billy Epler. It wasn't just because of Billy Epler. So I really think that they need to just not overreact. If the team misses the playoffs and they're 5-6 games out, fine. But if they miss it and not collapsing and they just miss it, I'm not ready to just send this guy to the woods.
I agree.
The Dodgers have? They have an unlimited. I mean, they already made their money back on Ohtani at all this merchandise and deals that they struck in Asia and Japan, all those countries out there. They've made their money back. Hector's in Japan right now. That's why his ass. We almost didn't do the show because his ass was too busy on a bidet. And
he's out there scouting for the Yankees right now. He's at
don't
high school championship.
No, don't lie. He fell asleep on a bidet on the toilet, man. Stop it.
We were saying wash your ass, and he took it way too serious. He went
he took it personal. Yeah, he took it personal. So that's it.
Man. All right. Well, let me just do this real quick because we're over 150 in the building right now. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Uptown Sports TV. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. The Knicks tip off in about 10 minutes right now. And also, I got a shout out in the chat. Jonathan is 5 pounds, I believe is the username. What up, Jonathan is 5 pounds. Brunson is coming back tonight. Brunson will be making the start for the Knicks in 10 minutes. They're much needed to have Brunson back. And now the Knicks on the road have obviously had major struggles. We will get to that in a moment. But before we do, any last baseball thoughts?
The Yankees. Oh jeez. Yeah, we'll do the Yankees next show. But they have a $22.505 million problem. Yankee fans are not happy about Trent Grisham.
Yeah, I was saying you're not pumped and jacked about Trent Grisham right now about welcoming him back after a career.
Well, I don't know if you heard because Emmanuel was on before me one of the shows last week, and he said something about that the Yankees organization values Trent Grisham more than Cody Bellinger. They hits the ball harder, the launch rate, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, has that worked for the Yankees? Listening to those stats, it's the same shit.
Did you hear
every year with them?
Did you hear the walk back? I think Hector did a good job covering this actually on his TikTok account, Uptown Sports TV, about Cashman kind of walking back this idea that the front office is pulling all the strings and Boone was actually, making a lot of decisions. It wasn't as analytically driven and forced as people say it is. I mean, listen, if that's not Brian Cashman opening up his opportunity to fire Boone, I don't know what is. And they're both going to die as the GM and manager of this franchise. I don't know about any of that Cashman nonsense, what he's talking about.
Susan said on the air they're hand in hand.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that. And listen, that's baseball, Susan. Literally, that's baseball, Susan. It's not like the Yankees are unique in this scenario. There's plenty of teams who are operating in this fashion nowadays. It's all good. That's what people be doing now. It's okay, right? But own it.
You know what the Yankees need to do? They need to sign Luis Ariz. That's what the Yankees need to do. Go out there, get a guy who puts the bat on the ball.
Yeah,
Trent Grisham's cool. I also think Trent Grisham. Evan said this, and I don't like it, but I would not be shocked. Don't be shocked if Trent Grisham's wearing blue and orange next year. Like,
no.
Don't be shocked. I'm just saying, don't be shocked.
But Gallo, here's the problem. That's presuming that
Grisham might be a Yankee. Like,
that's presuming that Grisham's going to recreate a career year. I mean, this guy was not a good hitter. We were making fun of the Yankees 2 years ago for having him bat where he batted in the lineup. And then last year he was their leadoff hitter. And if he didn't hit home runs, they sucked. So unless he recreates a career season, no one's going to want him next year. I mean, granted, he's smooth as hell in center, but let's be for real.
Saying this offseason, I think people are just assuming, when I heard the news, I was like, I have to see what the Yankees do the rest of the year before I freak out about this. But when I saw the news, I was like, they can also move him. It's a 1 year deal. No, they can't.
They got to. No, Evan said it today, and you can't trade a qualifying offer guy until June 15th,
Yeah.
or unless he agrees to be moved before that. So nobody's ever done that in history. Signed a qualifying offer, then accepted a trade. It's never happened.
And really quick on Trent Grisham, we're talking about a guy who in his career, these are his OPS pluses. Back to 2019 when he only played 50 games, 90. Then in the shortened season, 123, 106, 81, 84, 91. Last year was only 125. It felt like Trent Grisham, the way he was hitting home runs, was batting, 280 and OPSing 950. It was
He
still
was
just
batting like 345 for at one point. He was killing it, and then his average went.
well, he hit a million home runs. He hit 34 last year. That was amazing for him. Great season by Trent Grisham. I'm tipping my cap to the season he had last year. But to assume that a guy who has never hit more than 17 home runs in a season is going to recreate 30 plus, it's just not something I'm signing up for.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I think it's also an insurance policy unless dudes, in case they're out on Cody Bellinger.
Right.
And he goes to back to LA or to the Mets. Cause I honestly think the Mets are going to, that's the move. I think they're going to do it. I honestly think they're going to do it. And I have no problem
Bellinger
with it.
to the Mets, you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he adds something that's very useful to the team. Defensive versatility. High level defensive play. And he hits lefties for a left-handed hitter. Like he can actually hit lefties.
And he proved that he can play in New York.
Yes. Better than
that's very important to
he's
me.
played in his career.
Yeah, and the other thing I will say before we switch gears is that I don't want Devin Williams here if he's just going to be the closer. So I don't like it. And I had some Met fans call me and say they don't want to pay Diaz the money. Why not get Robert Suarez to let Robert Suarez come and close? And I go, so we're gonna go through this again with another guy who's never pitched in New York, see if he can close games, and he sucks the first month of the season. You're gonna throw him off the island like you did it when Diaz the first 2 years? Stop. Diaz is ours. He proved he can get it done. Pay the man. He was in the building for DRPR this past weekend. Pay the damn man. Go get Devin Williams. So when Diaz can't close, Devin Williams closes the games. You long your bullpen. You see, it's a bullpen game now. Starters go 5, the bullpens do the rest. That's what it is. And the Mets need to deepen that bullpen, and Devin Williams gives them that length in the bullpen.
They need Diaz. I think Diaz is the most important piece. I think Diaz is the most important person.
Last year.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
The most. You can. They've. Juan Soto obviously is the best everyday player, but I think the most important guy on that team is Diaz. He's the best closer in the league. It's not even close. He's probably the best closer at when it comes to high leverage situations. He's probably the best closer. I don't know. We want to say like Kimbrel or one of these guys, but he's doing it in New York. He's failed and been able to bounce back. He started slow in 2024 and was able to be the best closer for most of the season. There is nobody. He's the only relief pitcher in my entire life as a Met fan that every single time he stepped on the mound, I had no fear. Al, we sat there together and said it at the NLDS game while everyone was else like, no Diaz. And me and you were like, this is the guy I want. Like, this is who I want in the game right now. Like,
Evan was shit. I got the video. Evan was Diaz, the music hits, and I said to Evan, this is over. He's like, how are you so confident? I go, this is over. And then Diaz walks the first 2 guys. Evan goes, you still feel confident? Look at it. I said, this is over. Trust me. And what happened? It was over.
Sit down. Nah, he's insane. I would be much more upset about losing Diaz than Pete. However, I will put it on wax right here, right now, just as we finish up our baseball talk here. I, as a Mets fan, want to see Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz on the New York Mets for the foreseeable future.
I agree.
On wax.
I agree. And please, no Jeff McNeil. The other idea you heard was that McNeil, if the Mets keep, he could play first base.
Oh, fuck me.
Please don't.
There you go.
Please don't do that.
And the stream.
There you go.
And the stream. All right.
There you go.
Uptown Sports TV. We got Tio Al and Friends right here on YouTube, Twitch, and on Twitter. Of course, your favorite Tio Al Centrone, Anthony Gallo at Pico de Gallo, and P. Kennedy right here. Shout out to our guy, Hector Beauchamp, gallivanting through Japan, sucking on sushi, wiping his ass with water, having a grand old time. I think it's time to switch gears here, Al. You want to take it away?
Yeah, the Knicks haven't won the damn road game. It's been annoying. I know they're putting up record numbers. They've already matched I think on the Tibbs, they only scored 130 points once, twice. I mentioned on the air. They already done that in 1 week. They matched that. Jalen Brunson's returning from injury. OG Anunoby's going to be out for a while. I don't, 2 weeks, my ass. It's a hamstring. You saw what happened in the playoffs that year with the Pacers. I don't give a shit if it takes a month, 2 months, whatever. That man do not bring him back for game 32 of the regular season in a meaningless game. Let that dude be 100% because we need him for the playoffs. I do not even care about the 1 seed when it comes to the Knicks. Just get to the playoffs healthy and we'll beat anybody's ass. But Jalen Brunson's back in Dallas. I figured that would be the game he comes back going against his old team. What are your thoughts on the Knicks right now, this far into the season?
I feel good. I think that they haven't had a full deck for more than 3 games. I think that the guys that are new are finally getting it. I think Clarkson's been better.
Mm-hmm.
I think what that loss to the Heat showed you is they need Brunson at the end. Brunson could sit for 3 quarters, but they need Brunson at the end of games. He's a cold stone. He's a killer. Like he's an assassin. I like what they have. I agree on OG. Like, don't rush him back. Let him do his thing. I will say this. I think that it's a good sign that both guys we got diagnoses on within a week. Remember Randall and OG that one year? We didn't hear anything about them for months. And I was like, if I don't get if they don't say something about Brunson in a week, I'm going to start to be concerned. And they were very quick. They said it's not going to be long. Even with OG, they were like, it's not going to be a devastating injury. They don't need to rush him back, though. I feel good. I don't think the defense is going to play like it did early in the season when we get later in the year, which could be an issue. Offensively, I think they could get better. Like, that's how I feel about the offense. Their shots still aren't falling at an efficient rate. And I think that they are built to – I don't know about some of these Western Conference teams. As far as the Eastern Conference, no one impresses me. So I feel good about them. And, losing 2 out of 3 to the Heat, not feeling great for me. But,
super annoying.
Yes, but I still feel good about the team. Like, I like what I've seen from the coach. I think that the Tibbs, Avengers need to chill a little bit. He's not coming back. This is the coach. Like, relax. We don't need to jump on him because he hasn't really done it. The Brunson thing was just a dumb decision. But you know what? Like, let's just see what this guy could do and not try to fucking murder him every time something goes wrong. And it might not even be his fault. Also, he's holding these guys accountable more than Tibbs has. He's not letting the ref crying. They persist. All Tibbs do would go on and persist. Oh, yeah, they're screwing us. He's like, no, shut the fuck up. Play the game. And, Cat is what he is. Like, his highs are going to be high and his lows are going to make you want to put a hole in the wall.
Yeah, when he started taking heat checks, when he was certainly not hot at the end of that heat game, he was taking cold checks. This guy was like, all right, bet. No Brunson. I got this. Logo 3. It's like, bro, you haven't hit a 3 in like 2 quarters. What are we doing here? And then he finally scored a few baskets down the stretch there. But I have a question for y'all because we mentioned some people who are starting to do some things with this team here. There's one guy who absolutely is thriving with the new head coach and this new mindset, and that is Mikal Bridges. So last year, where do you think Mikal Bridges ranked in box plus minus? Not a perfect stat, but box plus minus on the New York Knicks of the people who actually played, most games, give or take.
He was on the bottom.
Yeah. So he was behind Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Miles McBride, and Cameron Payne in box plus minus. He was just in front of Precious Achiuwa. Do you know where Mikal Bridges ranks this year?
He's at the top.
Right?
Number one. And this guy, Mikal Bridges, is hitting the stride that people have been waiting for him to hit since he entered New York. He is playing in a flow state. Mikal Bridges is a flow state type of player who wants to be moving, wants the ball to be moving. He wants to pass. He wants to shoot. He wants to score. I am loving what I'm seeing from Mikal Bridges so far this season. And this was the number 1 prediction with Mike Brown, right? Who's going to be the beneficiary of a system that inspires movement? It was always going to be Mikal. And I have been very impressed. If you look at his counting stats, you're not going to go, oh my God, he's an all-star. He's averaging 16 points, but he's up at 5 assists, guys. That's crazy. He's shooting 42% from 3. That's impressive stuff. I am adoring the Mikal Bridges under Mike Brown's regime so far.
Well, fuck them picks.
Fuck them picks. And also, Gallo said he's not scared of anyone in the East. No one's scared of Detroit
Oh,
basketball.
I was just about to say that Pete, the closeted fan that you are.
My boy Cade is nice. All right, listen.
Wow,
Y'all gotta
he's
tip your
carrying my
cap.
fantasy team, so he is nice. He's carrying me to number undefeated in fantasy right now.
Yeah, go get a hat and tip your cap real quick, because Cade Cunningham is a superstar. Okay, I know.
I never said he wasn't a superstar. To be fair.
Oh no, not saying you. I'm just saying in general. I've been on the island. I've been talking about it. He had a bad rookie season. He was banged up. People were like, "Ah, what a bust. This guy sucks." I'm like, "Yo, this guy is the truth. I'm telling you." Last year before the playoffs, I told y'all he was going to be a problem. He is legitimately a superstar.
All right, can we just wait to see him get done in the playoffs? Like he's pulling the we should have won that series card like Jason Tatum did. You didn't, so shut the fuck up, take your L and move on. Just shut. I hate Jason Tatum. The same thing. Yo, if I didn't get hurt, Rudy, shut the fuck up, take your L.
They were
It's to
losing
the
bad
Knicks.
when he got hurt. I don't want to hear that from
Eat,
Tatum.
eat it. You lost. Hey, I can see Knicks Pistons conference finals. Why not? New rivalry. Pistons, if they keep this going, they could be the 1 seed. I don't give a shit. Or the 2 seed Knicks are the 1 seed. We'll see them in the conference finals. I ain't scared of Cleveland. I ain't scared of the Bulls, even though I thought the Bulls were going to be, they score a lot of points. But I'm like, nah, they're missing a superstar. They don't have Anthony Davis might be going to the Bulls. Just keep an eye out on that one because Shams came out and said that the Mavericks are gauging trade options for Anthony Davis. I can see him going home and going to Chicago.
What a disaster.
That would be great for us because Anthony Davis, I am sorry, bro. You don't play. That's it.
I know.
That's it. Bro doesn't play basketball enough. And listen, he's incredible. He's one of the most talented players that we've gotten to watch in the last, decade and a half. He's awesome. He doesn't play. So if he goes to a team, I am betting against that team.
The Pistons, I'm shocked at that. They've won 11 in a row, some crazy shit like that, right?
Yeah, 11, yep.
Yeah,
I'm
shocked.
Don't have any fear the Bulls get Anthony Davis and he ends up staying healthy for a series against the Knicks.
When he's healthy to start that playoff series, Gallo, I will be scared. And you know me, I'm a truther when it comes to the Knicks, opponent in the playoffs. I was honest about how difficult I thought Detroit was going to be.
PPP.
I didn't take the Pacers lightly, and we saw what happened. I will be honest, if Anthony Davis is healthy when a playoff series gets here, but until that moment in time, miss me with the fear. I'm not.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that would change
Josh Giddey.
No, I think that would change the Bulls up for real if they added Anthony Davis and he got into the playoffs healthy. I know it's a big if, street clothes. That's how you got that name. But if Anthony Davis on the Bulls, that's the one thing that's missing for the Bulls, is a superstar. They don't have that. They have good players. They have a good core, a good group of players. They don't have a superstar. And Anthony Davis would bring legitimacy to that Bulls team if it happened.
If Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving were the superstars who actually played basketball like they were, Nico Harrison would still have a job.
That's a whole nother thing with the conspiracy theories and having a casino and threatening. I don't know if you know all the backstory and stuff. And the Mavericks owner wanted to build a casino, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and now Luka is there was drama with Luka, but it was. I'm not a big conspiracy theory person, but they said that she pretty much did that because she was upset that they weren't allowing a casino or some shit, and that she threatened to move the team to Vegas and all this other shit, man. It's not my team, so I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah,
and I don't care about the West
major leagues.
And I don't care about the Western Conference, Gallo, because we're only gonna have to play one of those teams in the finals. So we'll worry when we get there. The goal is for the Knicks, let's get to the finals. If they don't get to the finals this year, it's a disappointment. I don't care. I'm sorry. They have to get to the finals.
Now, Al, let me ask you this: what has been your take on Jordan Clarkson so far? I had some strong takes on him coming into the season. What have you saw from him so far?
At first, he was playing like a deer in headlights. Even in the preseason, look, he was trying too hard. And now in the season, you see he'll throw up a shot like, what the fuck? But that's him. But he's playing more under control, and he brings an edge to his team, and he brings an excitement off the bench that we didn't have last year. He's instant scoring. If he doesn't have it going, Mike Brown's the type of coach that's not going to leave you in there when you don't have it going on. He'll give you the chance, but if you don't, he go to somebody else to get it done. And the Knicks have that depth, something Tibbs didn't have last year. So I love this team. I know Yabusele, he's only playing when Mitch is not playing the back-to-backs right now. He's trying to earn his time back. He'll be fine. It's nice to have an insurance policy like that on the bench. Landry Shamet has been, And it looks like that was the right move. Landry Shamet, I mean, the Sham God, 36 points,
Mm.
you know, killed it. Malcolm Brogdon, it looked like that was the good move that he retired. Keeping Sham has been a blessing. You know, Miles McBride, you know, he had a couple bad games, but he's been playing well. His last game back, he played well. He was feeling himself too much, got off to a great start, and then was just chucking way too much
Mm-hmm.
in that game. But I know it was shorthanded. Like you said, Gallo, the Knicks need Brunson to close out games because Karl Anthony Towns, that last game he did the same shit in the playoffs, bro. He was shitty games, and you couldn't count on him. When Brunson's not there, he's got to be that dude, and he can't be that dude. So Brunson has to be there to close out the fourth quarters. If Brunson's there, I'll take my chance against any team in the league. I don't care, East, West, North, South. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and I think that to go on to the thing we were talking about with Bridges before, I think when OG was healthy, he really looked like a different kind of animal on the offensive end. And I think we understand it as Knicks fans. I think Raptors fans probably, understand it a bit. When he is playing comfortably, he is a game changer. Like, he is one of the better two-way players in the league. And I think that they have a good mesh of when you need a spark, you got Jordan Clarkson and Deuce off the bench. When you need like those grind out minutes, you got guys like Mitch and Josh Hart to slot in. But then you got your four guys who you can rely on. And for Cat, I was obviously, as a Knicks fan, I wanted the shot to fall. I wanted that step back to fall also because I just wanted people to just get off this dude's back. Like I get it. He deserves a lot of the flack. We can't do this night in and night out. Like, we just can't. And I'm not saying that anything you guys are saying is wrong. But like I did the game against the Bucks, he was awful. That deserved him getting ripped. There's nights where I don't think he's a detriment to the team and he gets blamed for everything. And other guys his teammates should be thanking him because guys can mess up on that team and him, and it feels like Josh Hart too, take all the blame. So
yeah, I
feel good. I like the team. I love the way Deuces look. I like what we've seen from Landry Shamet, guys like that. Yabusele is a good, third big, and Mitch is gonna play, and they're gonna manage his minutes properly, and he's gonna get rest days more than anyone else on the team. I'm excited. I'm fired up. Like, I am really fired up. And the Pistons, the Cavs, whoever it is, the Sixers were frauds. Like, anyone, come get the smoke in a 7-game series in the Eastern Conference. I'm picking the Knicks.
The one thing I will say, Pete, real quick, is that I think it was James Edwards that put out the quote from Mike Brown is that he wants to play the bench more and give guys bigger opportunities. So that way, when the playoffs, I'm assuming that way when the playoffs come around, these guys are ready to go. Whether they have to play 35 minutes or 15 minutes, that's what he wants to use the regular season for. I don't think the Knicks are shooting for the 1 seed. I really don't. It's just a matter of getting the chemistry together and everybody healthy come playoff time. And then again, no Halliburton. Embiid, who knows if he's going to be there. Tatum, who knows if he's going to be back. The East is there for the taking. And like I said, if the Knicks don't make the finals, this is a fucking huge disappointment.
Absolutely. I would add one more thing on the bench front too. When you get to the playoffs, you're going to need those guys, right? What happened last year with the Knicks? All of a sudden, things were getting stagnant, right. And this starting lineup that's supposed to be one of the best, even though their metrics were terrible all year, you needed DeLon Wright, you needed Deuce McBride, you needed Mitchell Robinson, you needed these guys to step up, you needed them to be ready to go, and it took them all time to get going. Like, Shamet finally had moments in the playoffs. First couple or games that he was in there, he didn't look ready because he never played meaningful minutes. If you are who we think you are, you can afford Shamet in crunch time for a game or two here and there. You can afford Tyler Kolek to play 10 minutes a night. You can afford Yabusele through struggles to play some meaningful minutes. You have to, if you are who you say you are. If you watch the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are obviously on a whole nother level, right? They bring out guys.
They might lose 9 games all year.
That maybe, right? This guy, AJ Mitchell, is out of control, like, so good. Who is this guy, right? They give him, when he's playing, the chance to play in big moments. And that's what they did with Aaron Wiggins last year. That's what they did with their entire roster last year. And when the time comes that they're needed in a playoff game, they're ready. So yes, to keep the starters fresh, but also to keep the bench ready to contribute when the times matter.
The one thing I will say real quick is that I begged for the end of the season when Brunson got back to play this starting lineup going into the playoffs to see what you got. You didn't do it. Now you're playing the lineup when healthy. Mitch is starting with the rest of the cats. The team is so much better. That way, Mitch is there to erase the issues that a Brunson has guarding on the perimeter. Erase the issues that Karl Anthony Towns has defensively if he's guarding somebody away from the basket. Mitch is there to erase this stuff. OG's there to bail him out. Bridges is there to bail him out. Like before, it was who was the song? It was Cat. It was Josh Hart, who's not the greatest defensive player himself. Neither he gives it his all. It's not by lack of effort, but
Size.
his size. He's usually undersized, but especially if you're going to get to the finals against a team like the Rockets, who are huge. They just they were destroying the Cavs. The Cavs went late in the fourth quarter, made a run, but they pretty much beat the brakes off the Cavs tonight in Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell had a bad game to the fourth quarter. He exploded for 19 points in the fourth quarter, but he had 2 all for 3 quarters or 5, something like that.
Right. Still no Garland for Cleveland, obviously.
No, from what I heard, they're going to trade him.
I love Garland.
The team is playing better without him, and
I don't buy it.
I was talking to my boy today about it. He was like, "Yeah, they're gonna look to move Garland, but hey, it's not our team. I love what we got. We got a deep team. The game's about to start right now. No Cooper Flag. We got a deep team, and I'm really excited for the season. Like I said, in finals or bust. That's it.
Yeah, Sengun, fuck you, dude. Pass the ball.
Sengun is.
Did you need an assist or something on the FanDuel or something?
No, it's totally just me. You know,
his triple double was plus 600. Yeah, he needed 3 more assists. He got the rebounds. He got the points.
He's dead to me. Dead to me.
But listen, I named. It's funny now. I'm watching the game today. Like he's Baby Joker, and I gave him that name when I saw him at the Garden during the COVID year. I'm like, who's this guy number 28? Kind of looks like a Baby Joker.
People have been saying that.
During the COVID season was his first year, and I saw him that year at the Garden. I got COVID that day at the Garden because the fans behind me were coughing up a storm. I got sick, but I was like 28. Who the fuck's this guy? I'm like, yo, he kind of looks like a Baby Joker out there.
Shout out to Sigmund. Helped me and the Rockets go to a championship in my player like 4 years ago.
Oh, we like that. But wait, also real quick on the Jokic front. Can we all agree simply real quick that he's the best player on planet Earth? Is that easy? Is that a no questions asked take right there?
He's a beast. He's a beast. I think we would tear down. We would criticize any player if they were great in this era. Like all the MJ stands, you guys would have found a reason to say that he wasn't the GOAT, and we would have been talking about like Pistol Pete and Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I'm ready to like say that Nikola Jokic is like a top 10 all time and approaching like top 6.
Now let me ask you this: Shaq goes against Joker. What's going to happen?
Yeah, but this argument to me is so flawed because is Shaq coming out to the top of the key to cover Jokic? Like, I'm not saying he's better than Shaq. I'm just saying it's a flawed argument because there's one guy. There's one guy. Shaq today would have to have learned, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have, but there's one thing we could say about Jokic that we can't say about Shaq. Jokic, you could slot him in any era, and he would thrive. Shaq would have had to learn how to play above the key, and he would have had to be a more skilled player because they would have just put his ass in the line, or he would have been holding his team back because you would have been trading twos. Like, think about that Laker team, slot them now, and they have to trade twos with a prime Warrior squad or the Thunder, and you got your big man taking 20 seconds to get to the rim. He's one of my favorite players ever. I just think it's a flawed argument because he wouldn't have been covering Jokic.
Right now, is Joker going to guard Shaq? Because obviously he has to. Is Joker going to make it out the first quarter in foul trouble? Is he going to make it out the second quarter, not being in foul trouble? Is he going to? I mean, Shaq
David,
is just going
to. What if guys like David? But we've seen it happen before. Like David Robinson didn't foul out every game. Tim Duncan didn't foul out of every game. Like, that's my point. That's why it's like a flawed argument because that's the argument.
But David Robinson was all elite defensively. So was a lot. These guys were all elite defensively. Joker's not this great defensive player. I love Joker.
Below average, but he's a good defender. He's not an elite defender. He's a good defender.
He's got the size to hang around. He got the wherewithal, knowing where to be positioned. He's obviously not above the rim. He'll get bullied by Shaq occasionally. When Embiid and Joker went at it every once in a while, like, Embiid got the best of him one-on-one, but like, what are we talking about one-on-one? Jokic is putting Shaq in a blender sometimes too when he's on defense, because Jokic, Shaq's gonna be trying to body him. Jokic is gonna throw a pass behind his head to a wide open Aaron Gordon. So, the argument that you said is not invalid. It's just not the argument. Because what Nikola Jokic does on the floor every single night, and especially right now, his numbers are absolutely stupid. His touch inside the paint is stupid. He's shooting 40% from three, which is crazy.
Joker.
He leads
I
the
love
league
Joker.
in assists. It's just like he plays the game on
It
a
looks like a
level that no one in our lifetime, well, Al's lifetime's a little longer than ours, but in our lifetime has played on that level. And that's no shade. You just got to see a little bit of Bird and Magic. We and Gallo didn't get to see.
Ryan Kuzi,
Nah, fuck you. I didn't see no. Speaking of plumbers, the reason I love Joker so much, he looks like a plumber from fucking Greenpoint, bro. That's
Wow.
why I love Joker so much. You can roll up in Greenpoint. Hey, this is plumber. This dude's rolling out of bed. He is not in the greatest shape. He hates basketball. He doesn't want to do all the other stuff.
So listen to this really quick. Nikola Jokic is taking 2.5 less shots per game right now, and the same amount of free throws per game, and he's averaging still 29 points, the same as last year, and he's also leading the league in rebounds and assists. And he's shooting 65% from the field, 39% from three, and 85% from the free throw line. That is, you can't even create Jokic in my player. We're talking about my player. If you tried to create Jokic in my player, you would fail. It's impossible.
Well, I don't want to hear about his rebounding because he cost me $1,200, $1,400 last weekend.
Wow.
Getting 9 rebounds. Thanks.
Listen,
Thanks.
Al, you might have cost everyone in this chat that, but I was rebound happy that night. I will say this, and shout out to the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm also not trying to take anything away from Shaq. I just hate the arguments that there's no player right now that will ever get enough credit, because it's the biggest gatekeeping sport in all of the sports. Like, we don't do this in any other sport. Like, I went from disliking LeBron to feeling like I had to defend him, because we can't give anyone credit nowadays. Like, nobody, the Knicks fans don't want to give anyone credit because John Starks shooting, 40% from the field is all you want to talk about. And, Jalen Brunson would have put John Starks in a blender. Like, it's just, we can't give anyone credit. And it's now it's happened with Jokic. First it was Bron. First it was Kobe. Then it was Bron or it was Dirk. Like, and now it's Jokic. And then it's going to be SGA. And then whoever's after that. Like, I just, Steph gets at that time.
I can't give credit. It's just.
Well, I'm not saying you. I just think that we can make all the arguments in the world. I'm going to say something. The worst era of basketball was the 90s. You take Michael Jordan out of the 90s, it's an unwatchable league.
Yeah, it's a tough watch. It's a tough watch, bro.
You're talking about a league that literally was the least skilled in the history of the NBA. Like,
well, I don't know about that, because I think every decade got more skilled, I would say.
Because yes, but in the 80s and the 70s, the offenses were more modern than they were in the 90s. Like, Michael Jordan. I was
about to walk off the set.
Well, no, because the problem is, think about it. The 90s was who in the Eastern Conference was going to lose to the Bulls. And then it was hopefully an exciting finals. And you go back and look at the finals.
Never were.
You take one moment from those finals, most of them were not that exciting. Michael Jordan is the most exciting player ever. That was a different era of basketball. And
hold on. The Phoenix Bulls series had a triple overtime game in it, and John Paxson's 3-pointer off the Jordan pass. Steve Kerr, excuse me. No, it was Steve Kerr. No, that was John Paxson. Steve Kerr had another one versus Utah. All right. The Utah series, when Jordan had the flu, that was an exciting series for that went, I believe, went 6 games. I understand what you're saying about the basketball wasn't exciting, but I love those because they play fucking defense.
But you
they play defense.
Hold on.
They play defense today. That's the problem.
They had to guard like 40% less of the court.
Yes, they were not picking up full court. I watch NBA games every night, and all I can hear about is guys aren't playing defense. You're facing 6'11" dudes that are pulling up from 3. There's nothing you can do about it. And
well, that'll give you that. That'll give you credit for it with that.
you also can't say you're playing defense when hand checking was only allowed in one generation.
Right.
It was only allowed in one generation. You don't think that OG Anunoby could stay with every single player on the planet if he could hand check?
If he could hold them?
Yeah.
Hey, you watch highlights from like Boston Celtics finals and stuff like that. Like they were one of the best defensive, most cohesive teams of all time. They were just allowing players to catch the ball wide open at 3 and walk into a dribble pull up. That was legitimately how the game was played back then. They were just crowding the paint, and they were letting people walk into dribble pull ups.
Now the physicality was more allowed and it was more common, but
that
also
was real mad right now.
Yeah, but in the 70s, were they playing defense in the 70s and the 80s?
No, they were running. They were running.
I didn't watch basketball then.
But they were. The problem was they were running the court though.
Yes.
Like it was a different league. Think about how easy it was for the Nets in the early 2000s to completely change the entire conference, not because they were the most talented, just because they decided to pick you up full court and run the length of the court. Yep. Like that was it. And when I was growing up in the early 2000s, supposedly they weren't playing defense, and now we got revisionist history, who everyone's now saying, "Oh, they play defense." They used to play defense back then.
I'll say this though, Gallo, really quick. I think the 2000s might be worse than the 90s. The 2000s sneaky. It's nostalgia for you and I, Gallo. Sneaky. The league was kind of low key in shambles in a lot of ways.
Well, the early 2000s, yes.
Yeah. So
what happened? Michael Jordan left the league.
Yes, correct. The league is at its absolute peak right now. And
I'm not saying nothing about that. I understand
not saying
the athlete, the basketball player is now 100% more skilled. During the 90s, you were the center, you were the center. Power forward, you were the power forward. You did inside posting up game. The center wasn't posting up. Right. Small forward, mid-range game. Shooting guard was the 3-point guy. That's what it was then.
Yeah,
but the games, there was no zone defense then neither. But it was 1-on-1, grind it out. I love those games. I understand a lot of people don't like it. I know Evan kills it. I hear you guys killing it. I loved 80 something to 80 something.
You see, I'm not killing it. What I'm saying is you got not you, but there are a lot of people in your generation who can't stand the NBA now because it's not a counting, passing the ball to the shooting guard to run the offense on an ISO. Like they weren't. It wasn't like these. And I am a historian. I grew up watching. The late 90s was there. And this is not to say the problem is the litmus test for everyone now is what happened in the 90s compared to now, and it's completely unfair to the players now. And we all love the NBA in this chat, and everyone wonders why the NBA sucks because you got old fucks like Shaq and Chuck comparing everything to this day. Chuck would have got ran out the building by Giannis. Like it's not fair to compare errors, but you also can't just piggyback and just kill the modern game. And the guys, we're not going to appreciate these guys. And then we're going to be like, well, why didn't we appreciate these guys? And it's the only sport we do that in. I swear my life, and you don't do this now. So I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking.
I didn't say you're attacking me. No. This is obviously a generational thing. It's clear as day. I think a lot of the old school heads don't like the fact that everybody's chucking up threes, and there's no real strategy when it comes to ball movement or all that. A lot of teams don't do it. A lot of teams don't. A lot of teams run the same shit. Back then, every team had a different kind of.
I disagree.
That's one quote that a guy who's bitter about the league today said. It's not true.
Wait, who said that?
They don't run the same offenses. Like everyone's now saying the same talking point that they all run the same offense. It's not true. There's literally a drastic change to the Knicks offense this year from last year.
Drastic.
The Knicks offense is definitely different. No question about it. Everybody's moving. I get it. It's different. I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying is, like, you had the triangle offense. The Bulls had that. They had Showtime with the Lakers. Like, everybody, everything was different. The West was known.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. West was known. I gotta call you out here though, because you just said back in the day, centers played center and power forwards played power forward, and the shooting guards took the threes and the small forwards worked the mid range. Which one is it? Were they the same or were they different? Because right now,
wait, what do you mean?
You just said that they play the same style now, and you also just said before that back in the day, the centers were the centers and the power forwards were the power forwards, and they all did the same thing.
Wait. What do you mean? I said the same. Like, I don't understand.
So you just said that in today's game, a lot of teams play the same exact style, right? But earlier, you also said that back in the day, all the positions were more defined and centers played center and power forwards were in the post and small forwards were in the mid-range and shooting guards were the shooters. If so facto, those teams played the same way kind of too.
No, what do you mean? They all play different offenses. Like not everybody had a star center. The league back in the day was centered around centers. It was a big man league, and then you had your guards that were good and things like that. But you had the large ones, the Shaqs, the Robinsons. The guys that seem casting. Yeah, it was a center league.
I will say, I just want to add this because I think this is something that really NBA fans have fumbled over the course of the last 10 years. When people say that Steph Curry ruined the game, and if that is true, it is no fault of Steph Curry's, right?
No.
And the perfect example is Trae Young. Trae Young came into the draft and came into the league, and everyone's like, oh, he's like Steph. He's the next Steph, da-da-da-da. Steph Curry and Trae Young could not play the game of basketball more differently, right? If you watch Steph Curry, he is giving up the ball. He is running off screens. He's getting it back. He'll occasionally run a pick and roll. He's giving up. He's running around screens. He's getting it back. Trae Young runs 100 pick and rolls, right? They don't play the game remotely similar outside of taking long threes. So to the simple eye, Steph Curry takes long threes. Trae Young takes long threes. They play the same. They literally couldn't be more different of NBA players, right? And that one point right there is kind of Gallo and I's point at large, because there's so much like overarching painting with a broad brush speak about the NBA. And this is not even remotely a shot at you, Al. This is a shot at the larger NBA media landscape. Like, there are so many teams who play differently now, and people just don't have the care to even notice, right? Because NBA of all the leagues is the easiest to follow through highlights. It's the easiest to follow through box scores. So you don't have to go right. You don't have to go watch the Spurs to see how they're getting Wemby shots. You're just seeing Wemby hit crazy shots. You don't have to watch the Thunder to see SGA go to the line 10 times because people are making fun of him online. SGA is as close to Kobe and Michael as anybody since they retired. And he doesn't get that love because he gets to the free throw line and he's a free throw merchant. Dude is crazy getting the shots that he wants. The Oklahoma City Thunder play a style of basketball that everybody from the 90s should adore. They play defense like I haven't seen since.
Oh, no, they play defense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they get no credit for that outside of the hardcore basketball people, because it's an easy league to pick apart from afar. And that's been the problem with today's current iteration of coverage in the NBA.
Wait, here's one thing that does rub me wrong about the game is that there's way too many guys that shouldn't be shooting threes.
Sure. Guys who shoot 33%, why are you taking 4 a game? I get that. And I think that's the argument with people. That's the argument, especially a lot of the old heads. They say, well, why is this guy shooting, that's
threes?
The equivalent of in MLB, people trying to hit home runs and shoot for OPS instead of average. It's the same thing.
Well, it's the same thing in the NFL. Teams throwing deep balls all game.
Right.
It's
right.
And
short
I'll tell you this
much.
much. We are simpatico when it comes to our
100%.
love of the game. My issue is with the people who don't love the game of basketball.
Yeah.
And they might be fans of their regional team. They don't love the game, and it's painted with a broad brush that no other sport is. That's my issue.
Yeah.
And specifically the Knicks fans, you don't do this, because honestly, it's the only time we've really ever had this conversation. Knicks fans that are our age or older, they all glorify an era that they're not coming back. Like, it's over. It's gone. And we can't do this. We did it with Melo. We did it with Brunson. And now we got a new guy in Cat that we want to do it to. And it's like, you're never going to appreciate this team. You never see the title. None of us have seen the title. My dad's seen the title. That's it. It's not 1970. None of us have seen the title. There's no heyday. There's no great day that we could be like, this is it. There's no 1986 Mets. Like, there's no, 2012 and 08 John. Like, there's no heyday like that we could say, like, that's how it has to be. We're all nostalgic. Like, I want 06 to be here for the Mets every year. But I don't we don't compare every team. Like, it different for you, Al, because you've seen a World Series. Like, you were around in 69. You were around in 86.
86, yeah.
It's different.
69.
You just keep throwing these spot shots.
I'm sorry.
Throwing these spot shots at Al. It's really not right. It's not right. It's his show.
It is. No, but I'm just saying,
love 60.
I'm too big for it. So, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my weight.
Both work.
But on the same thing though, like I'm also not trying to take away from those generations. I'm also just like hate that we don't love this generation. That's it. I
yes,
the whole conversation.
I agree, Gallo, man, and clear that we agree because I want the reason I brought this up is I want the Jokic's of the world to
I
get
love
some of the
Joker.
love.
He deserves the love.
Like,
I love Joker. I don't have anything bad to say about him. I
you could
don't.
legitimately
Maybe because I watched the video about Shaq this week. That like a 3-minute video, and how he was fucking unguardable, man. Like
he was
fucking
insane. He was legitimately.
And I watched him in college.
Insane.
Yes, Gallo. I remember I watched him in college. Okay, and he blocked 11 shots in one game in the tournament game. I think it was the first round, and the court was Boise State's court. I remember. Shaq was. I mean, he was filthy. And imagine if he would actually cared. If he actually cared about being in shape.
Yeah, and that's what's frustrating too. I think for people is when he's talking his big talk, which he again certified OG, got the rings, the whole nine. He can say whatever the hell he wants. If he was really about that, he would have 2 or 3 more because he wouldn't have been out of shape, that early in his career. But if you go back to Jokic, legitimate argument that he should have 5 MVPs in a row. And that doesn't get spoken about enough. He should have at least had 4 in a row. I thought he should have won the Embiid one. Whatever. SGA deserved it last year. He could have had 5 MVPs in a row, and he has a title in that mix with a team that has never won a championship. I'm legitimately putting Jokic like in the Bird, Magic, Curry, Kobe range of all timers.
Well, you want to talk about people that get short minded, doesn't get the credit he deserves when you talk about all time greats. Larry Bird was a bad motherfucker too. Bad motherfucker, and he doesn't get
injuries too.
Yeah, and he doesn't. Everybody talk. It's always. I know you mentioned Magic with Bird, but it's always Jordan. But Larry Bird was a bad motherfucker, bro. Bad. One of the greatest. When you could drop, I'm gonna score. What do you say, 50, and with left-handed on you, and he fucking goes and he shoots with the left hand all day, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bad motherfucker.
He was
Larry
also
Bird.
a guy who didn't have to be super athletic. Like these guys weren't like
Joker.
Like they were super skilled. Exactly. And he's transcending. Like he could have Pistol Pete and Oscar Robertson. Like they could have played in any generation, and we wouldn't even have to question. Like, imagine sports talk radio in the 70s. You got Pistol Pete and Oscar Robinson pulling up from 3-point range, and there's no 3-point line. We would be killing them. We would be like, "What are you fucking doing?" Yeah. But also like I'm getting texts from my buddies right now being like, "I can't believe you're shitting on Shaq." Shaq is one of my all-time favorite players. I have 3 Shaq jerseys in my closet right now. So like I'm not trying to shit on Shaq either. Like him, AI, Melo, and now Brunson. Those are my 4 favorite players of all time. Like I just want to make that clear. I'm getting my integrities being questioned in my group chat.
I will say this too. Since we started this conversation, we've had about almost 100 more people pop into this live stream. So I don't know. We're doing something right with this conversation. We're at over 320 people on the stream right now.
Let's go.
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Uptown Sports TV. Subscribe if you're watching on Twitter or Twitch. Pop over to YouTube and hit a subscribe there as well, so you can see stuff all across this great channel with our guy Hector Beauchamp and all the other great shows on the channel. This has been fun, man. I think we should do one topic like this every show where we just get to shit talk each other about all of our favorite things on sports.
I'm listening. I'm ready to do a topic on why Wilmer Flores is a top 5 man of all time. If you guys are down,
I got an idea for you. Let me ask you. Since you opened the door with this, it's my generation. So, when it comes to football, do you like the product now? Or you wish you had what it was then?
I have a take. Who wants you, Gallo? You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe football is actually in an in-between stage right now. I think that the high-level passing offenses that we saw in the mid-2010s is missing currently. And that's for a multitude of reasons. And I think that the NFL is in a transitionary period from an offensive perspective where we have come back to the coaching being the leaders of the charge when it comes to offensive football. And the quarterback-driven sport that we thought we had officially seen for the rest of time is not currently in place. So if you love quarterbacks and you think if you think the NFL is a quarterback league, it is not currently a quarterback league. It is a head coach and offensive coach league right now. Look around the NFL standings and you're going to see Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, I don't want to do this, but Jalen Hurts. Those are the quarterbacks who are currently leading the NFL right now. That is because of the teams winning with them, not because of them. And this idea in the 2010s when Peyton when Peyton and Brady and Eli and Rivers were throwing for a cajillion yards and Drew Brees, that's gone. We thought that was the future, and the only way to play in the NFL was to have the top tier quarterback, and you're going to take off and throw a million touchdowns. Different league right now. So the NFL, in my opinion, is in a place that we did not see coming from a stylistic standpoint. And I'm not ready to say it's better or worse. I think the NFL skates scot-free by from criticism that the NBA gets every single night when we see dog shit games in the NFL constantly. And we are all so locked in Monday, Thursday, all day Sunday. We don't care. We watch their slop and we eat it up and we complain about the refs and we move on. But the NFL is not a pretty product, in my opinion, right now.
I think my team is responsible for about 80% of those over the last 8 years when it comes to dog shit games. But I'll tell you this much. I think the running back is more important now, which is kind of saving it. I think the product out of all the major sports right now, it might be the most entertaining. It's the least efficiently executed. Where I remember guys like Jake Plummer, being considered bottom of the league, 15 to 30 quarterbacks.
Throwing for $4,000.
Right.
Yeah. And they were never being considered like great. And they would play today and probably thrive. Jay Cutler. Like, I'm naming guys who played for my team, obviously, but guys who were not great quarterbacks that probably would have thrived today. I think the product is fine because the games are always close and entertaining. But I think between the natural progression of what they've had to do officiating wise and the lack of execution, like you could say with baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, that those games have progressed in a way because the athleticism and the skill has gone up, where I think maybe on the defensive side, athleticism has affected it. Offensively, we've seen like a kind of a downgrade. I still love watching football.
Love it.
I just think the product is, out of all of them, the least fluid as far as like how many games do we watch and it feels like we're getting, and it's not because of defensive excellence either. It's because of poor execution. Like we're not watching like
an average quarterback play. No, it's average. There's average quarterback play all across the league right now.
Growing up for me, there was legends playing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If Dan Marino played in today's game, he threw for $10,000 in a season. He threw for $5,000. He threw for $5,000 when you could fucking dry hump the receivers, and pretty much you could do whatever you want and get away with it. He threw for $10,000 in this league. You can't even touch the quarterback. That pisses me off the most. And for all this, you can't touch the quarterback because you need to keep him healthy. How many years in a row is there where we've seen 60 different fucking starting quarterbacks because they can't stay healthy anyway?
Yeah, no, agreed. No, I think you look around the league right now and you can say, all right, who are the quarterbacks who are actually, guys who will remember really highly after they're done playing? And the list is just not that long right now. You obviously have
Mahomes.
I mean, Rodgers is past his prime, Wilson's done, whatever. But Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Matt Stafford, those guys are none of them are young anymore. So the Drake Mays of the
Daniels
world
is maybe the only young quarterback I can guarantee, in my opinion.
And Drake, I'll do Drake May. I'll give you Drake May.
Right. I like
the
Drake.
league needs Drake May to hit. The league needs Jaden Daniels to stay healthy because, you thought we had something in Trevor Lawrence. We didn't. Justin Herbert hasn't gotten over a hump yet. There's just not high level quarterback play across the league right now. There's absolutely not high level quarterback play.
Never believed in Trevor Lawrence, even when he was in college. I said, I don't see the big deal. I don't believe in these guys that have pro style players on offense and defense. I just don't. Trevor Lawrence is, and in NFL, he's done jack shit. He's been to me, a bust. I do not care. He's been a bust. Deshaun Watson was a better prospect than him, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, Deshaun Watson got caught up in stuff. But
And
when
got
that
hurt.
dude was when that dude was 100% healthy, Trevor Lawrence going to touch his fucking jock.
Yeah.
But look around the
He,
league.
he would like that though.
Yeah, well, it depends. Caleb Williams, I know they're winning, but he's still not this.
No, he's not there yet.
He's still not this one. Justin Herbert, your boy, your Detroit Pistons of football. Justin Herbert, your Kay Cunningham of football. That dude is so overrated. In a big game, he can't do shit in a big game.
Bro's got
You're not
two
allowed to
backup
criticize
tackles
him.
right now. Come on, two
No,
backup
you
tackles.
can't criticize him. Can't criticize him.
Backup.
When he blows a 20+ point lead in the playoffs, can't criticize him. When he throws 4 picks in the playoffs, can't criticize him. You can't do it when he throws for 80 yards and he loses by 30. Can't criticize Justin Herbert.
I agree with you. And the other thing I will say is New York football fans, this area, we've seen so much bad football over the last decade plus.
So bad
that it's been horrible. And I know we're gonna touch on that real quick because I know you got a baby. Gallo got work tomorrow, and I gotta wash my ass and watch the Knicks game.
Time to talk about
I hate to even do this to the Jets and Giants, but they kind of don't deserve it. And I don't know.
No, we're gonna do it real quick. We're gonna do it real quick. Yeah, 2 minutes. Everybody needs to shut the fuck up with this Cam Scatterbull stuff. He didn't get power drive. He didn't get his foot stuck in a chair. He got pushed. He's fine. I just didn't like the fact that they had a championship belt when you're 2-9. That's the thing that was like, what are you wearing a fucking championship belt for when you're 2-9? Like, give me a fucking break. And the Jets, it's nice that they're putting Tyrod Taylor the quarter. They better draft Fernando Mendoza and do whatever they can to get him on the Jets. And I'll leave the rest of the football for Sunday morning when I'm on 2 to 6 on WFN. Go.
Yeah.
I am back on the Fan next Friday, Black Friday, 10 to 2. So check me out then.
I'll say this very quickly on the Jets. They better not fucking show up this week because I got the Ravens in Survivor. I'm still kicking in Survivor right now.
With the spread?
No. Just win and survive, baby. But this week we got to take 2, and I'm taking the New England Patriots. So I talked smack about the Broncos and the Patriots on TikTok and got absolutely hate from all over. Actually, no, from the Northeast and from Denver specifically. And then I took Denver in Survivor. Now I'm taking the Patriots and the Ravens in Survivor this week. I need them to show the hell up. If the Jets and Tyrod Taylor somehow find a way to beat the Ravens this week, I'll be inconsolable, Al. I'll be inconsolable.
I like the Jets with the points. It's 13.5.
That's
I like
fine.
the Jets with the points.
I'll say, and I know we got to go. The Giants and Jets are going to win dumb games in the next 6 weeks because it's what they do every year to make sure they don't get the best pick possible.
Well, here's the difference. The Jets have 5 first-round picks. They can do whatever they want. They have the flexibility.
That's facts. All right, that's all we got. 340 in the chat today. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Uptown Sports TV. This has been Tio Al and Friends. Al, take us away.
And Gallo hates Shaq. I'm on this Sunday 2 to 6 a.m. on the Fan 808-1019, talking Mets, Yankees, Knicks road trip, Jets, Giants football, and whatever the hell else you want to talk about. And as always, everybody, hug your loved ones and
wash your ass.